Hello and welcome back to another Magic Sven video, and today we're on a bit of a sad note. Storybook Brawl is finally going away forever. It looked like it was heading this way, but it is happening, unfortunately. So I wanted to record my last ever game of Storybook Brawl. I'll be on vacation when the server shut down, so this is it for posterity. Had a pretty easy Fates pick at the start, and we went with a Happy Tree as our Fated unit. I don't think there was too much of a choice there. Sure Shot, the other real option, but we held on to that shot because it had a Forbidden Fruit, and we got a pair of Happy Trees with the Mim support, so looking pretty good going into this fight. These Happy Trees should do pretty well for the next, most of the rest of the game, really. Nice shop in a 2.2 here. We get to finish our Happy Tree, of course, but then we also have the Mim triple here. So that'll give us an additional stat boost. For now, we're just going to take the one Mim, support it with the other Mim, and then we're going to lock this. We'll either have a 3 show up, or we'll get 2 2s and a Wish Upon a Star, which on 3.0 is pretty good. We are going to lose this fight here. Potion Master's got some good strength. They've got some stats on their Mim in the backline. And we do end up getting a good 3 in the shop. We've got a Mummy, which is going to work out very well with our upgraded Mim. We do want a little bit of extra power, though, so we're going to take the Shepherd's Sling over the rest of those treasures. I didn't really talk about it, but the Skips Puzzle Rune on the Happy Little Tree pair seemed like a good bet, considering we had the triple the Mim in the shop at the time as well. Pretty tough opponent here. They've got a lot of Polywogs, but we do manage to deny them every single one of those slays on 3.0. And then we do win the fight, too. It was going to be a close one, but our guys were just big enough to get the job done. Now here I had a few different options. Could have just taken the Mummy pair. Could have just done the Mummy plus the white. But I believe what I end up doing here is casting the Shrink, and then pretty much just emptying out the shop, mostly just trying to fill our board up here as much as possible. So we're going to take the Mummy pair, and we're going to take the two cost units. Of course, they cost 1 right now. Crafty looking pretty solid as a 1-mana 7/7. And we got the white in shop, and we are going to lock it for next turn. It's another path to a treasure. We may or may not actually complete it, but it's good to have around. It'll boost any dwarves that we happen to pick up along the way. Mummy's putting in good work there, cleaning up the pig for us, getting us a little extra gold. We did lock our princess, as we said, so we'll pick that up. And it's a little late for Vampire here. I think I considered it, but in the end, it's just a little bit slow. We'll just move on from that. Here we'll take the Poly. Not going to run it this turn. I want to get a 5 out of it if I can. We will take the Lucky. It contributes to our white count. Plus, we get to cast this Candy Rain and boost up our guys a little bit further. So we've got a pretty strong board looking here at 3.2. The Happy Tree gets in their attack, but doesn't manage to kill the princess. We get our Lucky hit, and that's enough to take out the princess. And we're here able to do a ton of damage to the Curse King and get rid of their Needle Nose daggers at the same time. Pretty great 4.0 shop. We get a discounted Heartwood Guardian and a second one, so we pair those up and we're going to be able to get some stats on our Happy Little Tree with those. Here we've got a ton of dwarves, but not a lot of money. It is under consideration locking this, but I don't think I'm going to. I am going to run the frog this turn. I want to try and flip that. Get that into a level 5 character. And you can see I'm thinking about just like buying and selling a bunch of dwarves. But what I end up doing is just taking the Crafty and calling it good there. It gets 1 more progress on my white. And it also gets me a pair. I don't want to spend all of my level 4 turns just buying and selling cheap dwarves for no value. I mean, eventually it would flip the white, but we do need to, like, get stronger along the way as well. We don't have, like, the perfect board that we can just sit around and buy dwarves to sell off again. We get our polyflip, so that's great. We deny them the slay. And we deny the sleigh on the mummy as well. So Trophy Hunter not doing great in that combat, unfortunately for them. They also have a puzzle rune going on. We flip into a Baba Yaga, which is pretty strong here. We don't currently have any sleigh units, though. We have good units to buff power for, but we don't have any sleigh at the moment, so we're looking for anything like that. Not much going on in this shop. We'll roll that away. And here we have a Feasting Dragon. It's starting to get a little late for Feasting Dragon, but considering that we got the Baba Yaga, it seems worthwhile to pick up here. Up against the APOC, who's probably going to be searching more for experience at this point than improving their board. Considering whether I should cast that Blessing or not, but I really just want to get my triples more than anything else. We find another Feaster in the next shop, and I believe I am going to sell this white for it. There's still such a long way to go on the Dwarf quest that it's not really worth spending all that time trying to get through it. If we were a Dwarf board, I'd be more okay with it, but it appears we're going in a different direction. We get one big feasting sleigh there, and we get a second one without the support. So still a lot of stats on our shop there coming in. We finish off the cat, and our trees are going to clean up the rest of their board here, no problem. Doing 8 damage to APOC, who's already down to 14. Not too much in that initial shop. We're just going to roll. I am going to cast this Wormroot onto our Baba Yaga here. I just don't want the stat line for Baba to be like too embarrassing. I need some stats on it so that it can just hold its own as its own character. We do get the Heartwood upgrade. No other trees as of yet. But here, I usually like a Forking Rod, but I'm going to take the 3 of Swords. Just helps our Feasting Sleighs go off. Helps our Baba Yaga be more respectable. And then not too much in this last shop. We'll just roll a couple away. And just stick our mummy back into place here. Try and get some sleighs against the tiger. We'll probably be moving out of this fairly soon. And they've got a double sarcophagus board. So they're just doing a ton of pings. Luckily, we're pretty well set up to try and get around that. We get both of our feasting sleighs with the support before the Sark can take out the Baba Yaga. And we are going to win this combat, do 10 damage from them from our golden units, which put in a lot of work there with their big toughness. I am going to take the Soltok here. There's a decent chance we could end up in Slay. Plus, it's getting buffs from the Heartwood Guardian, so that feels pretty good. Could have taken the experience there, but I want to get my triples more than I want to just take experience spells. I basically already have invested in this puzzle rune, so I'd rather go that way. And so I'm going to take the Fool's Gold over this puzzle rune. We're going to go up 2 experience. I wanted the Fool's Gold a little bit more than the Forking Rod. We don't quite have a comp together yet. The Feasting Dragon Slays are going to go a long way towards that, but we're not there yet. So we need some more money so we can buy a lot more units. They're going to be buffed, but we do need the units. Did think about locking that Baba Yaga, but I thought I could just either find another one or find something better. Just getting a ton of Feasting Slays isn't quite enough anymore. I need to start actually getting real units on the board. The Baby Root puts in a lot of good work here, finishes off the Potion Master. That's revenge for level 2 or so, where they got us pretty good. We can finish the Crafty if we want. Definitely take the Lance here at Instaprocs. I think I am going to take the Crafty. There's a couple things that I would go on to here, like the Rune would be decent, but nothing here is really doing it for me. Some thought the Pumpkin, but didn't end up taking it. I believe I do take the Robin Wood here. It's quite large. It replaces the Mim pretty well. And we can stick it in front of the Heartwood Guardian for a couple turns if we want to. Not much here. Some consideration for almost any of these units. The Echo Wood would be good if we go trees. We're getting kind of close to a point where Princess P would be good. Don't have a ton of monsters, but it's pretty easy to put that together. But we're greedy, and we go for one more roll, and we get exactly what we're looking for. We want that good boy. Our board is just full of good characters right now, so we're very happy just to lock a pretty big good boy. And we're not going to sell out for it yet. We've got one more rounds of Feasting Dragons we could do if we... it's worth a shot. Unfortunately, they reduce its power with the Robin, and then the apple tree puts the nail in the sleigh dream there, but we do finish off this board pretty good. They've got one giant Robin Wood in the back that we need to deal with. So we take out most of their golden units. The Happy Tree holds the front lines for a good while. Luckily, they hit our Heartwood Guardian there, and that's enough for our range to take out the giant unit. So do some more damage to Curse King. And here we get a Hand of Midas, which is just so perfect. We can take this good boy, instantly becomes upgraded good boy. That goes in over the Feaster. We are done feasting for now. So we're just looking for big good units here. And we do find a good one here with the Lady of the Lake. That'll help boost the toughness on our golden good boy and also be a ranged unit for the back row. Nothing in this next shop. We do find one more Lady of the Lake, and we are going to take it here. We're about done with this Heartwood Guardian. Most of these units are about to be replaced anyhow. So that can leave the board. We're going to sell the Feaster for it here. Make some room. We'll take a 3-pair just in case it's treasure map. So we're going to leave those mummies around until we find this shop, which has the Herc in it. And so we're going to actually sell all the way down to pick up that Herc. There's a pretty decent chance we can get it in like 1 to 2 combats, so happy enough to just take that. Unfortunately, we do have to sell something on our board to buy the Herc, and it's going to be the Soltalk. We do want the Soltalk eventually, but for now, it's okay if that kicks the bucket. We'll find another one later if we need it. Herc, meanwhile, pretty big at 3940. Of course, going to be a lot larger when the good boy dies. And we've got kind of an unfinished tree board from the Horde Dragon over here. Missing some of the better treasures from Horde Dragon, so not too concerned about this fight. The Golden Good Boy, of course, just puts in a ton of work. The Herc is huge, and it's going to attack here, which will finish off the quest. And we make short work of the Horde Dragon, finishing them off. Fate's just doing its Fate's thing, really, here. We get our level 6 treasure, and we're going to go with Ivory Owl. Our board is just about complete, and if we can just get bonus stats onto these range units so they don't die, and more stats onto our good boy so that it just keeps getting better and better, we're going to do that. And we just want more range, so we're going to take another Robin Wood, and we get lucky, and we find another good boy, which is just perfect. We find the triple of the Lady of the Lake here, and I go back and forth on whether I want it or not, but in the end, I do lock for it. We can stick the Robins in the backwood to keep our fully ranged backline. APOC Ghost, looking like an APOC Ghost, kind of just a bunch of random level 6 characters that don't have quite enough synergy. The classic Princess P without the good boy. And we're able to take them out without much trouble. We're pretty far ahead of the lobby at this point. We had a couple extra turns on level 6 to do everything we wanted to do. And looking at the board, our lowest statted unit is still actually a good boy, so we're pretty happy taking an Ugly Gosling Helm. It's going to go on the unupgraded good boy right now. And we're done with Fool's Gold. We've completed our board for the most part, so we don't need extra econ for anything. Happy to just take a different treasure and dump the Fool's Gold. I'm going to take the Fiercify here. It's just a lot of extra stats. And we are going to grab this Soltalk Ancient just to prevent us from losing to a bunch of Lightning Dragons or something like that. And here I do my last mistake ever in Storybook Brawl. Well, maybe I do something wrong in the last round, but I try to buy this Pigomorph, and I've already cast a spell here, so it wouldn't be a game of Storybook Brawl unless I made a mistake in my final game. We just end up with 4 gold, so we just buy a Sure Shot. It can slot in at some point if I need it to. Tiger is on evil, and this is the one with the double Sark. So that's really a big reason why we wanted that Soul Talk. It's really important that our backline units don't just die to random Sark triggers. Looking at their board, it's not too scary. They're missing the pumpkin, unfortunately for them. They do manage to get a rotten apple onto our golden good boy, so that's going to greatly reduce the amount of toughness we're adding. There's a Medusa attack. Fortunately, it's not on our other good boy. But they also picked up Mirror Mirror along the way, and they have a treasure map, so it's kind of now or never, maybe. I mean, we're definitely going to keep on scaling, but they might be able to get in some faster tech than we will. A couple of wrong Medusa hits, and they could definitely take us out. So we're going to do our best just to finish them off right now, and we can see the Soul Talk is putting in a ton of work here. Our characters would have died multiple times already if it were not for that Soul Talk Ancient putting in the work that it does, and that's enough. Golden good boys doing the job they need to do. I really love Storybook Brawl, and I'm sad to see it go. It was a really fun game. Just disappointing to see it go out this way. So, thanks to the devs, thanks to, everyone that made content, and just everyone that I played games against. This was a tight-knit community, and this was a community that was really, focused on this game, and there were a lot of good players. There was so often, you play games, and sometimes people don't know what they're doing. It felt like whenever you booted up Storybook Brawl, the whole lobby had just a good idea of how to play the game, the best way to approach it. You could see so many crazy high rolls, and you'd be like, how did you do that on turn 4.0 or whatever? Oh, you've got upgraded pumpkin here on 4.2. There was so much crazy stuff you could do, so all I can say is good night, Sweet Prince, to a game I really enjoyed and I'm gonna miss a lot. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next video. So long.